After 5 years, why is the Chinese government trying to remove one of my 5-year-old videos? So picture this. You're out having coffee at this really nice coffee shop. You've got your laptop along or your phone and you just want to connect to their Wi-Fi. Well, here we go. Free public Wi-Fi. Let's connect to that. That sounds about right. Or it might even have the name of the shop. Little do you know, it's actually a dude sitting in their ratty old car outside. And they've set up a little Wi-Fi router in their car. They've got their laptop. And this is called a man-in-the-middle attack. You connect to his Wi-Fi. It looks like the coffee shop's Wi-Fi. It gives you internet access. You're none the wiser. But he's monitoring every single thing you do. So how do you avoid something like this? I'll tell you how you avoid it. You use a VPN. And the best VPN to use is NordVPN. With a VPN, it encrypts your data and it will frustrate that guy sitting in the ratty old Camaro outside the window. Don't let these guys win. Get a VPN. Go to nordvpn.com/SerpentZA. You'll get a massive discount plus 4 free additional months. Don't let them win. Stay safe, surf safe, use NordVPN. Let's get right to the chase here. There have been a couple of nasty instances in mainland China that have leaked due to viral videos recently. One of them is unfortunately a video of a young woman being run over by a car. With bystanders just watching, not helping her, she gets run over again. So she gets run over multiple times with no one to help, and of course this results in her death, her demise. And this is because of this terrible bystander effect you get in China, where nobody steps in to help. A lack of good Samaritans has always been a big issue, and this has come about because of various reasons we'll talk about later in the video, but it's a disgrace to China. We've also recently seen a lot of these high-profile cases of women being beaten in public in China. The very high-profile case of those women being beaten in the barbecue restaurant because they refused the advances of that man, that thug. And then we saw multiple instances of this happen in China, and these videos were going viral. People were talking about them a lot. Why is no one stepping in to help these poor women who are being beaten sometimes to death or to the verge of death by these thugs in public, in restaurants, in broad daylight, or in front of hundreds of people? You know, it's a problem. So this very nasty societal ill of mainland China has been thrust into the spotlight once again, especially recently with that video of the women getting run over by the cars. This is something China doesn't want you to see, and when I say China, I mean the Chinese government. And this explains why they have tried so hard to get my video that I made 5 years ago taken down. So for those of you who are not aware of the contents of that video I made 5 years ago, it is basically me talking about this exact problem in China. The fact that you don't have good Samaritans in China, and there's reasons for this, both legal reasons and of course societal reasons. And in that video, I showed a couple of social experiments which were put on by a few different groups within China. And these social experiments were things like they would pretend to kidnap a child in public and see what the reaction from the general public would be. And of course, if you've watched the video, you'll know that all of these experiments resulted in nobody helping when someone was in desperate need. And I'm talking about children, I'm talking about women. It's pretty terrible. And myself, having witnessed this with my own eyes in China, know that this is a huge systemic problem in China. People will not help people when they're in desperate need of help. People do not get involved if it means that they themselves might get embroiled in something or inconvenience their life in one way or the other. Everybody is afraid to be blamed or somehow have the blame of the situation put on them. This, of course, goes back to some pretty famous court cases where somebody helped someone in need and they ended up being blamed by the judge. Because they helped them, they must have caused the injury, therefore they must pay for the very high medical bills and all the, compensation and stuff like that. So people are deadly afraid of that because of that one very famous court case. But they're also deadly afraid of having their lifestyle interrupted in any way, shape, or form. This is something that is uniquely found in mainland China. I know people will say the bystander effect, and yes, the bystander effect is real, 100%. And you will find it everywhere around the world. When there are a lot of people standing watching something unfold in front of them, Everybody seems to be waiting for somebody else to take the first step, somebody else to step forward and help the person that's injured. But nothing like in mainland China. In mainland China, the bystander effect is a default. And it unfortunately is a very hyper-inflated and hyper-exaggerated form of the bystander effect. I know this, like I said, because I myself have had to step in multiple times whenever there's been trouble in mainland China to actually help someone in need. Nobody else did. Another quick example off the top of my head is that elderly gentleman who jumped in to save a drowning woman. And she was drowning in front of a crowd of people. Nobody stepped in except for this grandpa foreigner. You know, this is the thing. People like to excuse these problems in mainland China. They like to pretend as if it's something that happens all over the world. They like to deflect. Whenever these things come into the news, like that woman getting run over by multiple cars and no one stepping in to help her, they like to say, oh, but that happens everywhere. Oh, but that's a bystander effect. But that's bullshit. It doesn't happen everywhere. It happens in mainland China. And it happens more in mainland China than it does elsewhere in the world. It's famous. We know about the little 2-year-old toddler that was run over multiple times by vans in the market. We've seen that video. It's shocking. It's terrible. People have seen the kind of thing that comes out of mainland China, and it is a societal ill. It's got nothing to do with Chinese tradition, because that kind of thing does not happen in Taiwan or anywhere else where there is a large Chinese diaspora. It happens in mainland China, and it's because of what the Communist Party has done to society there. And that is why they're desperately trying to take down my video. It's simply because they do not want the rest of the world to see this very real and very bad part of Chinese society. So let me explain to you what they did. You see, the video itself has never been monetized. It isn't monetized because, of course, it shows, you know, shocking, semi-shocking scenes of like a simulated kidnapping and that sort of thing. So it's not about the money. But not that long ago, I got a copyright claim nonetheless by, I presumed, the group that did, one of the groups that did one of those social experiments. Now, I just let it fly because you can dispute these if you want. There is, of course, fair use, and you are allowed to use clips from other channels and from other TV programs and YouTube channels and stuff. Of course, it's good form to put a link in the description to whoever you've used the footage of, but as long as it's transformative, in other words, as long as it's a part of a discussion or something, and as long as you haven't just taken their video verbatim and thrown it directly on your channel and tried to claim it's yours, it's okay. But because the video wasn't earning any money anyway in the first place, and because I thought that perhaps legitimately one of those groups did want to claim the copyright to the small clips that I used of theirs, I let it slide. I didn't pay it any mind, and I just left it in the background. But then it escalated to the point where YouTube actually sent me a letter saying that another group had now tried to get the video removed. Now, this is different to a copyright claim. This is what's called a copyright strike. You see, as a creator, or if you're a big studio, say you're a music studio or something, and someone uses your copywritten music or something like that, you've got two options. Number one, well, you actually have three. Number one, you can claim that content, and then all the money that is made off of that video goes to you. It's kind of an unfair system. It's happened to me before where there's been a background clip, like I filmed my friend's wedding, and there was a music clip in the background for about 15 seconds, and then they claim all the money from that video. Okay, whatever. That's, you know, big media. You can't do much about that, really. So they can claim the money of it. Number two, they can block it in certain countries, like what happened recently with our podcast, our live show, the China show, where we showed some of these ridiculous anti-Japanese TV shows that you find on Chinese TV. Well, an effective way for them to prevent us from showing that to the wider audience around the world is to get it blocked in various countries. And they successfully managed to block our video in the UK, in Canada, in Korea, Vietnam, pretty much the entire world except for 1 or 2 countries. But you can get the stuff blocked. So you can earn money from it by claiming it. You can also block it in certain countries and also earn money from, you know, wherever people can see it. And the third one is to actually get the video removed off of YouTube completely. And this is what they tried to do. Unfortunately for them, What I did with that video falls under the fair use terms of service. It's transformative. I didn't try to claim that it was my video. I didn't try to say that this is mine. I didn't try to earn money from it. I used it as an example because it's very relevant to what I was trying to educate people on. So they tried to get it completely deleted off of YouTube, deleted off the internet, and failed. For once, YouTube actually stood on my side with one of these things and sent a letter to them, which they gave me a copy of, which I'll show up here. I'm not going to release the name of these people, who tried to get it taken down, because I feel like they're being coerced into doing it, or even if they are working directly for the Chinese government, doesn't matter. I'm just telling you what they're doing here. So they couldn't get it taken down. Now, I have a feeling that this is only the beginning, and that they will keep trying to take that video down. And just in case they do manage to get it taken down, I suggest you watch it. There's a link in the description below. It's also in the pinned comment. Go ahead and take a look. Go and look at what the Chinese government doesn't want you to see. Because at the end of the day, it's been up for 5 years. If whoever out there was really worried about me using their copyright-written, footage or whatever it was, they would have taken care of it 5 years ago. I put up the links to who they were. I put out everything. So it's not a secret. It's not something that's flown underneath their radar. And why all of a sudden now? Well, it's very obvious. It's because right now, the exact topic that I covered in that video is exactly what's being discussed, not only in mainland China, but around the world. Why do people allow a woman to get run over multiple times in front of their eyes and not step forward to try and help? Why are women being beaten to death or beaten severely in public in restaurants in China and nobody steps up to help? Why is this such a massive issue in China? Well, my video explains it and shows examples, and that is devastating because that is what the Chinese Communist Party and all of these tankies and all of these nationalists do not want you to know. They do not want you to know that this is a real problem in mainland China. They want any record of this scrubbed off the internet. They are trying their absolute best to silence me and others who show these very legitimate issues which need to be criticized and need to be addressed inside of mainland China. I will not be silenced. And I certainly hope that this has the Streisand effect of putting more eyes on this video that they're trying to get removed. It's an older video, but it's still valid today. Please go and check it out. And as usual, thank you very much to everyone out there who supports me by watching my videos. You guys are absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see you in the next video. And until then, you know the drill. As always, stay awesome.
Can you see? 对得上。
等一下。
哎，这张不漏，拍这张。
Very cool.
噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔。